Hello and good morning, afternoon, or evening. The current time is whatever it says on your clocks, and the date, whatever it says on your calendar. I'm Sam, reporting to you previously recorded from my living room, and you are about to be creeped out. This is a segment where I talk about my favorite short horror films in the form of fake news stories. I highly recommend that you check out the full forms of these short films listed below. Let it be known that there are spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. The first story tonight, a sniffling situation in Los Angeles, California. A father leaves his son at grade school due to a debilitating sinus infection taking the city by storm. It is advised that you stay indoors at this time, as it's speculated to be the effect of a high amount of air pollution. Side effects include excessive nose blowing, bloody raw skin, bone pieces coming out of your nose, buzzing sounds in your head, intense cravings for meat, and little worms crawling underneath the skin on your face. Researchers say to refrain from tweezing your nasal cavity, vacuuming your facial orifices, or blowing your nose until nothing but blood emits. It is proven that none of these will do any good, and you will be in pain for a couple of days. It's okay, folks. Nothing to worry about. After some time, you will with certainty painfully sneeze out a humanoid chicken cutlet that you will only know as your child. It's going to look cold, so I suggest that you hold it up to the sun for warmth. Scientists and doctors have no other information at this time. We take it to Sam in the field for her opinion. Sam? Thank you, Sam. Okay, so the first time I watched this, I actually got horrified because I did have a runny nose for almost a month straight, and I had to pause this and do some deep breathing because it was giving me an existential crisis. Having watched it again, it definitely still makes me queasy, but I think about this film often, so it's doing something right. I think up until the end, it's relatively realistic. I'll say the only thing, the bone coming out of the nose is horrifying and sounds incredibly painful, but I feel like there would have been more of that. So the end, you have the weird chicken cutlet baby. It could have been a lot scarier. It could have been creepier, like a nasty worm thing. I'm assuming that the bone coming out of the nose was the baby making room in the facial orifice and the facial cavities. I don't know. I feel like that could have either not happened or gone farther. And being said, with the weird baby, this is reminding me of the movie Vivarium. This person's getting suckered into caring for someone else's young. On a scale of 1 to 5 snots, I'm going to give this 4 snots because I think about this film so often. And I feel like it's done really well. It's terribly horrifying. It's very realistic in its approach and almost pandemic-y, which, everyone's a little bit too familiar with, am I right? Anyways, 4 snots. Back to you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Up next, a scrub who couldn't get no love. The almost murder that stemmed from a dire desire of companionship. Aiden was an odd fellow with social anxiety, specifically when it came to women. Aiden's coworker, Elaine, had developed a small crush on him and flirted to no avail, even after watching him eat yogurt like this. He had no clue Elaine was down to clown. At work, Aiden came off shy, awkward, but nice. At home, he was messy and obsessive. Papers were found strewn about his apartment, alluding to evidence that he had been crafting the perfect speech to deliver to women. Being able to keep his composure behind a screen, Aiden was able to finesse many dates from online with women, but he would inevitably stand them up, denying him the ability to deliver his special spiel. A mannequin wearing women's lingerie was found in his apartment, a piece of tape left on her partially missing face. A box was found underneath his bed that contained dozens of photos of cutout heads of women that happened to come from the profiles of all the ladies who had been stood up. It is presumed that he would tape these faces to his mannequin and have the date that he really wanted. Things start to go awry after reports show that a phone call was made to the building's manager from Aiden's apartment. He was calling to ask for assistance for his neighbor who had just moved in across the hall and locked herself out. Chelsea was new to the area and still gathering her bearings. Like the classic not your next door neighbor girl trope goes, Chelsea barges in, admires Aiden's puzzle, and wins over his heart, then leaves when the manager arrives. Now in love, Aiden stalks the woman and stole her laundry to dress up his doll. Talking himself up to leave his phone number taped to Chelsea's door, he does it and immediately follows up with a panic attack and instant regret. Having already walked away too much, reports do show a phone call in the morning on Aiden's phone that was traced back to Chelsea. The day of Aiden's date, he calls in sick to work. Chelsea goes over for an awkward hangout and happens to mention that she doesn't like feeling too settled. They begin to argue, and Aiden demands that she listen to his special spiel. Evidence shows signs of a struggle, and blood was found covering Aiden's landline telephone. Elaine, thinking Aiden had been sick, stops by his apartment to give him her soup. Chelsea answers, calling Elaine old, and sporting the t-shirt that Elaine had just bought Aiden from their work. Elaine leaves his apartment in tears, and Aiden leaves his apartment in Chelsea's trunk. After Chelsea drives a bit and then drags him not that really far off the road, Aiden pops back up, beginning to look around. Chelsea goes to plan B and finishes the deed. Or does she? She drives away before realizing that Aiden is still alive. The police have not released any other evidence at this time. We take it to Sam for her opinion. Sam? Thank you, Sam. Okay, first off, let's just play this clip of him eating yogurt again. Even though Aiden was paying Elaine zero mind, I applaud this woman for how hard she was working for her tips. You know what I mean? I've definitely flirted like this, but I'm sure that it came off more like Aiden's style, even though I thought I was coming off like Elaine. With something that doesn't fully make sense, and maybe it's the age of Elaine that is there, but just with how awkward Aiden was with women in general, and how obsessed he got with Chelsea just only after her expressing interest in mainly the puzzle thing, but something of his interest too. Elaine seemed to do the same thing and even got him a shirt, and he's just like, oh, thanks. I feel like he would have security cameras in her apartment at this point. Definitely with the amount of attention that Elaine was giving him and his obsessive behavior. Maybe not. Maybe that's not how it goes. I just feel like there would have been a little bit more of something there. Chelsea was hella rude to Elaine, and I know she was like interrupting her little murder sesh.
Are you his mother?
It seemed she seemed sympathetic in the moment after that as she's watching Elaine walk away. She's just kind of like watching her walk away, but the look on her face isn't scared that she's gonna get caught. It's not mad like she wants to kill Elaine now because she's worried she's gonna say something. It almost just seems like a look of Chelsea thinking she's doing Elaine a favor by getting rid of Aiden. His ideology seemed so exhausting, and I feel like this was physically portrayed very well in the character and how tired he looked. I like the addition that they made him very sweaty when he's nervous. It definitely accentuated that aspect of his personality. I don't know if I'm the best person to speak on predicting twists, because I am not the person to... I don't predict endings well. Even if it might be obvious, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm going to see. We'll find out. So, I did not expect this twist, but I loved it. I like that it's alluding to Aiden the entire time, and then it happens to be Chelsea, and the point of view in the film swapping to her is really well done.
I didn't plan this. I never do.
But with her, again, alluding that she's experienced in this aspect, she's moved around a lot. You know, she's been hurt before and she's moved around a lot. She's done this before. But with how sloppily she handles Aiden's situation, maybe it's not as much as she was giving off, or she's just not very good and that's why she has to keep moving, I guess. That could be it. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 5 phones, I'm going to give this 4 phones because I like the plot. I like the little twist, and I like the way that it's filmed. I like the messy apartment. I like that you really just have Chelsea on the back burner, but when it swaps, it's like, oh, that made sense if you really were paying attention the whole time. Yeah, 4 phones. Back to you, Sam. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to keep it slim and shapely, you might want to think about the weight of the web you're weaving. An anorexic arachnid terrorized a teenager over the weekend as she was just trying to fit into her ice skating outfit. The young woman was preparing for an upcoming contest, but believed that her outfit would not fit. Doomed by her diameter, she tied a measuring tape around her waist. Miraculously, this made her outfit fit. And a costume that was supposedly so skin-tight it wouldn't fit as is didn't even show the wad of plastic now tied around her tummy. The young girl attempts to feel her fantasy before reality slips in and her measuring tape slips out of her outfit and it falls to the floor. It falls out of her pants. She shoves it back into hiding before an awkwardly animated spider unproportionately crawls up behind her and pricks her on the back of her neck with its pointy leg. This distracts the young woman briefly, turning her attention away from the mirror to a door behind her. Eyes turning back to the mirror, 2 lines have appeared on it, shaping the waist of the young girl's dreams. Alarmed and oozing black slime from her nose, the girl goes to escape her room, only to open the door and find another mirror, just like the one she's trying to escape. She double takes so we can cut back to the mirror for another timely jump scare. An 1800s spider lady creeps out of the shadows, scaring the young girl. She slams the door and goes to run away, stepping on the measuring tape peeking out of her dress. Wait, didn't we just see her shove that back up? Oh, okay. Anyways, the sound of slicing is heard, and the door creaks back open. Suddenly, the young girl keels over, spewing black sludge and panning over to the coolest practical effects spider mask ever. This shit is so cool. The measuring tape around her waist is pulled taut, its loose end disappearing into the mirror, which reflects an evil version of our protagonist. It's pulling her deeper into the evils of vanity, and before she can cut the cause of her predicament, she notices that her waist now follows the curves on the mirror, which is her desired 24-inch diameter. She smiles in triumph, before red appears all around her waist where the tape is tied. Her upper body now slides off her lower body because they are no longer connected. A magic hidey hole appears in the floor, and her body is pulled into it. Reports show that shortly after the girl's disappearance, a broadcast was shown on lower frequency channels showing the young girl miraculously put back together, connected with strings, almost like a puppet. A narrator announces that women should be dainty, small, and not take up too much space. We're then treated to an eerie smile from the young protagonist. Now, we take it to Sam for her opinion. Sam? The creature feature in this is so cool to me. I love the spider design. Her name's Miss Anity, and she has a whole series, so I might have to do something on that because I've only seen this one episode, and I immediately was like, I love this monster. I'm not usually a creature feature girl, but I guess I like this one a lot. And am I the only one that's getting like heavy Japanese undertones to this? I feel like the mask kind of has that Oni vibe to it, and it could just be the black sludge, I don't know, but the blackened teeth, that was like a beauty standard in early Japanese culture. And so I'm wondering if there is something to that. Maybe this is based off of some Japanese lore or something, Japanese mythology, I don't know. That's what I was getting out of that. I wasn't sure. I really hate the continuity error of the measuring tape around the stomach. I get what they were going for, but that being the main point of what starts her getting sliced, they definitely should have made sure that was there the entire time. I noticed that they relied on camera cuts for their jump scares. Very obvious. There's ways that I feel like they could have done it a little better to make it even scarier. It was very trope-ish, and you could see it coming. And like they had her look away so they could cut the camera. They're like, oh, just look behind you and look back so we can have it pop back up. And they did this 2 times. And the 2 jump scares in it, that's exactly how they handle it. And then the weird, they had such a cool practical effects monster. I'm pretty sure there's some animation on it when her little tendrils are moving. But the mask itself and the character look practical. The weird animated spider is done so poorly that it really throws that entire scene off and just kind of, it really like goofifies the film. It was really good, but this part killed it. The spider looks super weird. It's unproportional to the rest of the film. On a scale of 1 to 5 spiders, I'm going to give this 3 spiders. And they're all for the creature. This thing is so cool. I really like it. And I like this film. It's a fun little watch, even though the animated spider. Anyways, thank you so much. I'm Sam, signing off. And these have been my opinions. Back to you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Well, folks, that's all we have for you tonight. If you like these stories, you can check out more of them in their short film forms below. Remember to stay safe out there and hope that you were sufficiently creeped out. I'm Sam. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night.